Hello everyone and welcome back to another Java video. In this video we're going to be covering if statements. So what is an if statement? If statements are basically statements that execute a block of code if its condition is true. If it's not true, then it won't execute. So what better way to learn than with a few examples? So first we're going to need a scanner. So we're going to say scanner equals new scanner. And then we're going to say system.in, and if you haven't watched my video on user input, then you should, because that will explain how scanners work a little bit better. After you enter the scanner, we're going to need the help of a few variables. So first we're going to say string name. We're just going to declare them, we're not going to assign them for now. So int age, and then we're gonna say boolean is alive. Okay, so we have a string, an integer, and a boolean. First we're gonna say system.out.println. We're gonna say enter your name, and then we're gonna assign the variable to the user input, or assign the user input to the variable, sorry. We're going to say scanner dot next line. Great. Okay, cool. So now we're going to ask for the age, and we're going to ask for if you're alive or not. So let me copy paste this real quick. So enter your age, and then we're going to say here, we're going to say, are you alive? Question mark. And then here we're going to say age equals next int, and scanner equals next boolean. And we're going to set this to is alive. Okay, cool. So now we have all the variables declared, and once the user gives their input, they're also going to be assigned to the variable. So this is a great start. So we're going to have a few groups of if statements. We're going to have group 1, and we're going to have group 2 and group 3. So group 1. So first you want to make sure you put this right here. It's not really that important, but it tells the user to type true or false, just in case they write yes or no. That would create a problem in the code. So enter your name. My name is Yusuf. Age 23. Are you alive? True, I'm alive. Right now it does nothing, but we're gonna fix that. So group 1, we're gonna ask, or we're gonna say if, this is where the if statements start, if name dot is empty, because we want to make sure that they do not just press enter. Because let me just comment this out and show you. If I run the code and it asks me for my name and I just press enter, it's just not going to do anything. Age 23, alive, true, and it just does nothing. So we want to make sure that it says something. It tells you to enter your name or something like that. So if name is empty, this is basically me just checking over here that if it's empty or not. So if name is empty, we're going to get curly braces going, and we're going to say sout, or system.out.println, you didn't enter your name. So if the name is empty, this block of code will execute, just like we said here. They execute if the condition is true. So here, this is the condition. If this condition is met, which is that it's empty, then this will execute. If not, it'll move on to the next one. What's the next one? In if statements, you have else if, and then you have else at the very end. So since we're only talking about two conditions, we're just going to say if and else. Else is basically the default code. If nothing before that executes, then at the very end, the else block will execute. And let me show you what I basically mean by that. So we have an else. So if this condition is not met, we're going to move on to this one. So we have else. So we're going to say system.out.println hello plus name, because we want to say hello to the guy or girl or whoever. So let's try it. Enter your name. I'm just going to press enter. Enter your age, 23. Are you alive? True. You didn't enter your name. Okay, now let's run it again. So enter your name, Yusuf. Enter your age, 23. And let's close that. And then, are you alive? True. Hello, Yusuf. Okay, great. It works. So let's move on to the second group. Group 2, we're going to be talking about the age. So what do we have with age? With age, we want to make sure that we have a few age groups going. So the first age group is going to be if you are older than or equal to 65 years old. So we're going to say if age is greater than or equal to 65, and then curly braces. What do we want to do? We want to print out you are old. Okay, great. Now we want to make another if statement, and how we do that is with an else if statement. Else is only at the very end, so you start with if and end with else, and every single one in the middle is else if. So we're gonna say else if age is older than or equal to 18. So we're going to say greater than or equal to 18. What do we want to do here? We want to open up the curly braces and then say S out, you are an adult. So this is basically checking if you're 65 years old or older, you are old, or you are, let's say, you are a senior. And if you're 18 and up, you're an adult. But this will execute first. So it's going to check if you're 65 and up, you're a senior. But if you're not, then you could still be an adult, but you're just not a senior. So let's move on to the next one. We're going to say else if age is greater than, or sorry, less than 0. That's not very realistic, is it? So we're gonna say if that condition is met, we want to print out you are not born yet, because you're less than 0 years old, which is weird. So you're not born. And then we're gonna say else if, we're almost done, age equal 0, we're gonna say, so if your age is 0, we're gonna print out you are a baby. Okay, now you're thinking, what if I was born, so I'm older than 0, or 0 or older, but I'm not 0. So you're not, this condition isn't met, and this condition isn't met, and I'm also less than 65 and also less than 18 years old. Then here is where the else statement will come in and say else, we're gonna say S out, you are a child, because you're not an adult yet, and you're also not a senior, and you're also not a baby, but you've been born. So after everything is gone, after we eliminate this one and this one and this one and all of them, we're going to move on to this one. This is going to be the only block of code that just it's the default. So if you're not any of these, you're definitely a child. So that's great. Let's move on to group 3. Group 3 is going to be pretty easy, or a lot easier, I guess you could say. We're going to say is alive or not. We're going to check. So we're going to say if is alive. So that's all you need to do. It's basically just saying if it's true, this will execute. So if is alive, So if you are alive, we're gonna say S out, you are alive. Congrats. And then we want to say else. S out, you are not. Okay, cool. And last but not least, this isn't the most important thing in the world, but it's always good practice to close your scanner once you're done to prevent any further issues in the future. So let's check if this code works, and let's go through it one more time. So first of all, we have if statement, the description, and then we enter the scanner, we initiate or initialize the scanner, we declare the variables string, name, int, age, boolean is alive, and then we have the user input to basically assign something to these variables. So to assign the name to the string name, and then to assign a number to the age, and then to assign a true or false value to the boolean is alive variable. And we have three groups. Group 1, it checks about the names. So the name, if it's empty, it's going to say you didn't enter your name. If it's not empty, then it's going to say hello to whoever enters their name. Group 2 is going to check your age. If you're 65 years old or older, you're a senior. If you're 18 and up, you're an adult. But this has to be if you're 18 and less than 65, because this comes first. So if you're 18 and less than 65, you're an adult. If you are less than 0, you have not been born yet. If you're exactly 0, you're exactly a baby. And if you're not 0, so you're 1 year old, but you're also less than 18, you are a child. This is going to execute as a default code at the very end. And then at the very end, last but not least, it's going to check if you're alive or not. And you can change this to anything. So is alive or is male, I guess you could say. If it's true, if you enter true, then you're a male. If it's not, then you're a female or an attack helicopter. So let's try it. And then at the very end, like I said, we close it. So let's try this code. Enter your name. My name is Yusuf. Okay, enter your age, 23. Are you alive? True. Okay, hello Yusuf, you're an adult. You are alive, congrats. Okay, let's try some different things. So enter your name, let's not enter any name. Enter your age, let's say I am 0 years old, and true, I'm alive. Okay, you are a baby, you're alive. Okay, cool. And you can basically experiment with this however you like and see what the different outcomes are, but I'm pretty sure this code works fully. You can test it out as much as you want. But that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.